Hey everyone, it's Jason, and welcome to part 2 of Zombicide 2nd Edition, the Washington Z.C. campaign expansion. So part 1, I went over basically what's new with the campaign, what's new in the set. In part 2 here, we're going to go over the actual characters and all the cards and special abilities and stuff like that. So let's hop in and look at our 6 brand new survivors. So we're going to start with Angelo, who's the veteran. So let me find his miniature here. There's Angelo. Got a couple of big guns on him. Sword hanging out the back. Alright, so these guys are going to have a lot of abilities that reference the all-out mechanic, which, so just a quick re-explanation in case you didn't watch part 1. The all-out mechanic is going to use the new all-out dice, which will have a break symbol for the 1, and then all of the weapons are updated. So if he's using the baseball bat, it now has this red symbol. If you use the all-out symbol, you get to roll the all-out additional die. So 2 regular die to use the baseball bat, plus 1 all-out die. If you roll that 1 break symbol, the weapon breaks and is no longer usable. It's just a way to kind of hey, we need extra attack. I need a chance to do extra damage. Or extra accuracy or whatever, but it's going to potentially destroy my weapon. And then as we will go through all the other item cards, you'll see that some of them give more. Kirkery gives +2. Sawed-off is also +2. The sniper rifle only gives +1. They give different amounts of bonuses, and it's kind of thing. It's also used... So basically what it's going to do for him, so he has +1 free all-out ranged action. So he starts off, he can basically, if he wants to perform a regular ranged action, it's going to cost him an action point. But if he wants to use the all-out version, which he has to roll these dice, he gets a free action every turn. So it's kind of cool. So it's a dangerous way to start out the game, because if you break your equipment, on turn 2, and you don't have a replacement, then you're running around with no equipment. But it could definitely be worth it. Hey, you have a starter equipment, and then you pick up a better weapon. You can sit there and keep using your free range with the starter equipment as much as you want. If it breaks, oh well, you have your backup one. Like always, yellow gets him a free action. His orange has just +1 free range action, or +1 brother in arms, +1 free combat action. You don't see brother in arms too terribly often. Essentially what this means is, as long as they're in a spot with another character, they and everybody in that area just use this ability. So as long as he's hanging out with another survivor, both him and that other survivor, or if there's more than one, get 1 free combat action. But if he's running off by himself, he doesn't get that. I just noticed, I'm sorry, I just want to stop it. It doesn't show it on here. He has replacement legs. I kind of thought he looked a little different. His legs are kind of skinny in there. Yeah, he has prosthetic legs. That's actually kind of a neat little aspect for this game. Sorry. Yeah, so Brother in Arms can potentially be very powerful because it can share ability with 2 to more survivors, but if they're by themselves, then they don't have an opportunity to use it at all. In his rag, he has +1 die roll for combat. Brother in Arms +1 die for combat. Or he has Sniper, which allows him to pick and choose who he shoots at from a distance. So yeah, it's kind of a gang. Something like this is really fun because it depends on how you want to play. If you're going to play a character that likes to stay right next to each other, you kind of group together, the brother in arm can be very powerful. But if he's going to kind of go off by himself, or he's going to hang back, he has free range attack and sniper, which can definitely be very powerful on its own. Alright, up next we have Anton, who is the mobster. And there's Anton's. I love his little sculptor. He's getting ready to pull his guns. So he's actually starting to pull his guns out. Plus, in his coat, he has extra swords and weapons in there. Definitely just a badass all around. So he has all out +1 die for range. So if he's using all out attack, he has +1 die for his ranged attacks. Yeah, so it says all its skills benefit whenever they're going all out. Yeah, and then just +1 die for ranged attacks. So when he's using a ranged attack, he gets an extra die. Yellow is 1 free action. Orange, 1 free move action or all out +1 damage for range. If you want to keep him doing them ranged while he's doing all out, he has an extra die, plus he can do extra damage. Because you can for sure combine those two. Then he has red, +1 free all out combat action, or all out +1 free combat action. And then shove. So yeah, shove will let him push characters to another zone. So +1 free all out combat action, or if he's going all out, he has 1 free combat action. Interesting. So if I'm understanding what the differences between them are, is either, so he starts off the game with 3 actions, and he gains a 4th action. If you select the first red one, he technically has 5 actions occurring. He has 4 regular actions, plus 1 that he can only use for an all-out combat action. Whereas, if he selects the second one, the all-out, means if he uses all-out for one of his other actions, he gets a free action. So it's kind of an interesting dilemma there, because it's, do you want to have 1 free action that you can, no matter what, but you have to use it for an all-out, or do you want to have the ability that if you do decide to perform an all-out action, you get a free extra action to essentially replace that. But if you don't, then you don't have to use it. So it's kind of a weird, interesting thing. And then there's shove on the back. Each of your turns, survivor may select 1 zone, sharing 1 ranged. All zombies are shoved to the selected zone, and just to look back at his brother in arms, can be used whenever a survivor is standing in a zone with at least one other survivor. All survivors in the zone benefit from the effect, and sniping may freely choose your targets. Alright. Then our next player. So the whole grouping of these characters is supposed to be, these are all people that just happen to be in Washington, D.C. at the time doing various things. So they're not like, they're kind of like 6 different survivors that kind of got tossed together. So here we have Ashley, who's the teacher. The teacher who's wielding a chainsaw. I don't know what she teaches. I mean, she could be, you think of a teacher, you just think of like, like your 3rd grade teacher, Miss whatever, comes in and teaches kindergarten kids. But yeah, this could be a high school teacher, high school shop teacher. Could be an athletic teacher that they're on a field trip. I don't think they really give too much backstory to these characters. In the game here, you probably may go online, they might have more. Ashley has all out +1 die for melee. So she's going to get extra melee damage. +1 action. Her orange is 1 free move action or shove. Her red, 1 free combat action, 1 free die roll for melee or hit and run. So she only does all of it at the beginning, and then she kind of ignores it. And then hit and run, just as reminders, after eliminating at least 1 zombie with a melee or range, can make a free move action. So yeah, she can get definitely some good moves in there. Hit people and then either shove and push them away, or she can have that move to then move right into the next thing. Or you can go the other route when you get to red. either give yourself some free extra attacks or get yourself some attack and movement. So kind of get some good situational awareness there. Up next, we have Justin, who is the Traveler. This guy's kind of just, going wherever he's going. He's carrying a katana behind him. Little backpack or, like satchel. Some different stuff in it. Alright, so he has a couple of abilities. The first one he has is Jack of all trades, which is a brand new ability. So this is per campaign. Survivor begins each game with the campaign skill of their choice that they already possess. The chosen skill is kept only till the end of mission. So what that means, if you're playing with him normally, you're probably just going to have this sheet out somewhere to select it. But if you're playing a campaign, it works really nice. So he gets the option to use any of these extra abilities once per game. Not once per game, but he gains it for that game. So he essentially has all these different skills to start out with, so it gives him a lot different stuff to do. Which is really kind of cool. Gives him a lot other things to do. So then to follow up with that, he has one free action. Orange, one free melee action, or all out, one die for combat. His red is all out, plus one dice roll for combat. Bloodlust, melee, or lucky. If we flip on the back to go through it, some of those are. So lucky on the bottom is each action the survivor takes, they may reroll all dice in additional time. Now this does not include all out action, so they cannot reroll their all-out dice. So if they have to roll 3 regular dice and 2 all-out dice, they can't reroll the all-out dice. Bloodlust, once per turn, survivor spends 1 action to move up to 2 zones, to a zone with at least 1 zombie, and gets a free action. So there, I think it was Bloodlust melee, so he gets a free melee attack. And then Jack of all trades begins each game with a campaign skill of their chosen that they don't already possess. So it's kind of cool. Get some extra stuff, other than you have to kind of keep that list. If you're not playing campaign, you have to kind of keep that list around so you can decide which one he has. But still definitely fun. Alright, up next we have Mindy. Mindy is the Dreamer. This is what they classify her as. She's probably, college kid hanging out in DC doing whatever. She has cowboy boots on. Flowers in her hair. Some little Daisy Dukes. Definitely interesting design. So she has plus 1 free all-out melee action. Plus 1 action. Orange is 1 free melee or double all-out dice. Now that could definitely be a very good gamble. You get one that has like 3, all of a sudden now you're rolling 6 extra dice for a weapon. You could definitely do some serious damage, but it also means you're going to have a high chance of your weapon breaking. You have 1 free move action, all-out Bloodlust melee. So she does the Bloodlust melee like Justin did, but she only has it if she's doing an all-out attack. And then melee, she has plus 2 damage. Now it's crazy. She can do a ton of damage on here, because she has that double all-out dice plus 2 damage. Yeah, it's just crazy. Even if you don't use the all-out stuff and you just use the free melee action, she can be pretty wicked, which could be really fun. Then just all-out. And then Bloodlust. And then we have our final survivor. We have Tess. So there's Tess there. She has a couple different... Oh, it's a crowbar. I thought there's a sword. She has a crowbar in her hand. A little gun. The poncho is really cool. The knee pads I really like. She is classified as the wild card. She has all-out Bloodlust melee, so right off the bat, she's going to get some extra Bloodlust in there. 1 action, her orange is 1 die for combat or sprint. her red, 1 free melee action, 1 free ranged action, or all out 1 free combat action. So that's kind of neat there, her red one. Either you can do a free melee or a free ranged, or if you want to choose to have the all out ability, you can have either one you want. But you kind of got to decide. Otherwise, yeah, with just, the extra combat and then the extras and kind of however you need her to be, except for that first one, which is the bloodlust melee. But it lets her get in right away and do that extra attack, but it has to be, again, that all out. So now it's going to be very important with all these all out abilities and the potential of things breaking, is you're going to want to get to these things and find more weapons more often. That is also why with the campaign, they added the extra decks of cards. So like this one has the Secret Service ones, so they're going to have this back. And then the Fort Hendricks campaign mode has the military weapons. And that's like that way you can find more weapons. So things are breaking, you're not just having to search just those crates for a weapon, or searching wherever. You have the specific extra full deck of weapons you can search for, which is definitely cool. Alright. The other thing we have is we have 2 companions. So we have the president. Let's slide this out of the way. We have the president here and his advisor. So these are various companions that will be used in the campaign. I don't think they mentioned too much about them in the book. Just double checking to see if I missed that page. I think they're just mentioned like during the actual campaign, like mode they'll be used for stuff. Yeah. So yeah, you'll eventually get special missions where you might have to move them, like bring them along or get to them, various things like that. I was trying to see if I could find a specific mention of them in one of the campaigns, but I don't see it. But yeah, that's definitely a neat idea there. Just give you some extra different like little characters. Now they don't have any. I don't think they have any special rules with them, which some of the other campaigns do. So it's the president and Taylor, the executive. So are 2 different characters there. Alright, let's look at some of our cards, and then we can hop into some other stuff here. So we have our gray starting cards, which most of these are going to mimic the exact same ones from the base game, just with the all-out symbol on them. So you have the baseball bat, the crowbar, the fire axe, and we have 3 pistols. Each one of them only has 1 all-out die. So they're a little bit better, but they're not crazy. So again, rolling 1 die. So now you have an accuracy. Now you're rolling 2 die for an accuracy of 3 on this. So you have a better chance of doing maybe 2 damage with it instead of 1. But you have a 1 in 6 chance of it breaking. Then we have our blue cards, which are regular equipment, and we're going to have 4 copies of which is the ambush card. You place a walker in the zone, then discard. Here, trying to see if I can move that glare out of there a bit. We have 2 bags of rice, which gets you an extra discard for 3 AP. Maybe using in the backpack. We have 2 canned food, which do the same thing. So now you see that these guys don't have that lock mechanism on. You can't save these from campaign to campaign, so you may as well use them. We have 2 chainsaws. So these guys get +3. So now you're rolling 8 dice. So imagine if you hit with all 8 of them times 2. So you're doing 16 damage. You could take out a lot of guys with this. But again, then you also have 3 chances of it failing. But then you have all these other cards that do other things. And it has a saving of 5. So you have to roll 5 dice to save this. So it might not happen very much. You could get super lucky, though, which would be great. You start up a game with a chainsaw, even if you don't use the all-out on it. That's awesome. We have one extra crowbar, which only has a save of 1. An extra fire axe. We get 2 flashlights, which is sort of weird that we only have 2 flashlights instead of 1 for each character. But there might be some in the other deck as well. But search, draw 2 cards, or light source may be used from your backpack. We have 2 katanas. We have 2 of the I'm going to mess this word up again. The curry. We have 4 machetes. Definitely nice to have two safe, 1 extra hit. We have 4 Molotovs. I love that the Molotovs are potentially be able to be saved. So hey, we don't need them at the end of the game. Don't waste them. Maybe have it ready for the next game. Start off a game with the Molotovs. That'd be definitely cool. We get 1 extra pistol. We have 3 copies of Plenty of Bullets, 3 copies of Plenty of Shells, which just lets you reroll stuff. Reroll any weapons with shells or bullets. We have 4 sawed-off shotguns, which have the reload mechanic on there. We have 2 regular shotguns. Definitely nice. 2 sniper rifles, which give you the sniper keyword. 2 submachine guns. And finally, we have 2 waters. So those are all our regular weapons. Which should, again, I think all mirror the base game ones, because you're going to swap out that deck for this. And then from then on, any game you ever play, you could just use these. If you decide not to play with the all-out or the lock mechanic, then don't. Just ignore them. Play the game normally. Then we have our red pimp weapons. So again, we're going to get 2 ambush cards. We have... Now some of these are a little bit different. Because I don't remember if the Army Sniper Rifle was in there. I think it was, though. We have the Army Sniper Rifle. 1 to 4. Nice range. The Automatic Shotgun. The Evil Twins. The Golden AK-47, the Golden Kurakrai, the Gunblade, which is both ranged and melee. So add 2 to either one you do. I mean, it's 6 dice for a melee attack. That's pretty crazy. Maz Shotgun, which has a machete attached to it. The Nailback. And finally, the Zagasakin. The Zantetsuken. Which is an 8 for a melee. That's pretty crazy. Or silent attacks. Yeah, so those are all pretty standard, so I'm not going to look at them too terribly much, because we should have seen all of them in the base game. Then we have the Secret Service ones, which will have this special back on them. So we're going to get 2 more ambush cards, because they love giving us ambush cards. And these guys will have a yellow hazard bonus on the bottom. So now we have 2 copies of the Desert Eagle. It's definitely a nice little gun there. So yeah, if we compare that to like a regular pistol, better accuracy, better damage, better all-out ability. Doesn't have the dual wield though. So that's one thing you're trading for that. So if I dual wield the pistols, I get to roll 2 dice for 3 accuracy. Let's say a little bit worse accuracy, that's 4, but like, it's kind of your trade-off, right? You get a little bit more powerful weapon, you only have to take up 1 hand versus having to have almost 2 hands to do the other one. We get 2 more flashlights. So Secret Service, we're hiding some of our flashlights. We have 2 folding shovels, which is a really fun idea. Just spiking someone with one of these. I love that it's the spike part. It's not just that you're hitting them with the shovel. It's actually the spiky part of that. It was just crazy. It's like a pickaxe type. We have 4 copies of the Glock 17. So it's kind of our pistol replacement. We have 4 copies of the CROWBAR. A little hunting knife. It says add +1 die to another equipped melee weapon. So this works a lot like the dagger in the older games, or in some of the other games. 2 Colt M16A4 rifles, which have night vision on them, which lets you ignore the penalties for ranged attacks at night, which is really cool. We have 4 copies of the MP5, little submachine gun type idea. We have 2 night vision goggles to give you the night vision and maybe use one in the backpack. Then we have 6 copies of Repair Kit. So discard, ignore all break results from a single attack roll, maybe using the backpack. So now these are super important to have if you want them for that. All the all-out rolls. Then we have 2 riot shields, which just have tough, which the tough keyword from the base game says ignore the first wound received during each attack step, and during each friendly fire. So each friendly fire thing would be very helpful. Well, just that, having a shield. You don't have a lot of armor in this game, so it's kind of cool that they gave us an armor card. And then finally, we have the snack cake. So during the apocalypse, the snack cake is worth 5 AP, which is definitely great. So those are all of our different cards we can get, our weapons. Then we're going to take a little bit better look at the campaign sheet here. I don't think it's not going to hold it. So yeah, as every time you hit orange or red, you're going to get 1 point. So the first time you hit, you may only hit orange in the first game, so maybe you only get 1 point. But then the next time, if mission 2 you hit orange again, you're going to immediately get this action. So it either gets you 1 bonus action, which you can get up to 7 of, 1 for each of these. Or you can spend 1 per mission. But then at the end of the beginning of the next mission, it re-adds on us another time. Or you can get 1 campaign still, which these could definitely add up. So I do want to kind of read through these really quick, just so we know what they are. So combat reflexes is whenever a zombie spawns within range of 0 to 1 before rush, any survivor may immediately perform a free combat action against them. This action may eliminate zombies more zombies than have spawned. So if they spawn into a zone where there's already zombies, you can end up eliminating a bunch of extra ones as well. So that's definitely cool. We have Destiny. Survivor can use this skill once per turn. When they reveal an equipment card they drew, they can ignore and discard that card and then draw another equipment card from the same deck. So that can be helpful if you're trying to find a gun, you drew a sword. We have Horde. It says survivors can carry up to 2 extra equipment cards that are placed near the dashboard and considered to be in their backpack. So this will help with the all-out abilities in this game, where you have to worry about things breaking. Collecting extra equipment can be very powerful. Hold your nose. Survivor draws an equipment from the core equipment deck only, so you can't use it for the Secret Service ones, but you can use it for the regular ones. Whenever the last zombie standing in your zone is eliminated, so after you kill the last zombie, you could grab an extra item. Again, for the all-out weapon idea, having ability to get extra weapons is definitely nice. Home Defender. Survivor is not eliminated, range to 0-1 when tracing lines of sight through buildings. So while you're in a building, you can shoot as far as you need to. So if you have a gun that can shoot 5, 6, or like 4 or 5 range, you can shoot 4 or 5 range. Lifesaver lets you, once per turn, for free, select a zone containing at least 1 zombie and 1 survivor at range 1. Both zones need to share a clear path and line of sight. Survivor chooses selected zone to be dragged into that zone without penalty. This is not a move action. The survivor may decline the rest and stay in selected zone if the player chooses. So basically you can pull someone from a zone with zombies to your zone without them having to waste a move action, which is really good if they have like 3 or 4 zombies in there, because they wouldn't have enough action points to probably move. Low profile lets you ignore friendly fire when you're being shot at, basically. Night Fighter, which is one of the new keywords. Let me grab that book. I didn't have that open. Night Fighter says survivors ranged actions performed during night have an accuracy of 5+ instead of 6+. Game altering effects still work. So basically, their attacks still aren't maybe as good as they would have been, but they are better. We have Sidestep, which whenever a zombie spawns within a range of 1 or 2, you get a free move action. Start with 2 AP, which isn't definitely a bad thing to have either. Start with a repair kit, help for breaking stuff. Although, keep in mind though, if you're starting with a repair kit, that's 1 less that's going to be on the board somewhere else. Unless you home rule it that once that's used, or if anyone uses that repair kit, that you can then shuffle it back into that Secret Service desk, so that it could be used potentially somewhere else. Starts with a round of ammo, either plenty of bullets or plenty of shells. We have Steady Hand, which says survivor can ignore other survivors of their chosen mission, or chosen when missing with a ranged attack. This does not apply to game effects. So, unlike Sniper, where you get to choose your targets, but you can choose not to shoot someone, this only just lets you opt to not shoot your friends if you miss. And then finally, we have Webbing. All equipment is considered to be in hand. So this way, it's definitely nice if you're collecting a lot of items. So definitely some fun skills to be able to have, especially if you all out. Lots of stuff for if you're collecting a lot of different items. Alright, so the last thing I want to go through, and I'm not going to go through all of them, are the notes, or the campaign cards. So they're going to say, WZC, Mission 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, so on and so forth. Some have abominations. Some don't have any notes. They're just going to be rooms. And I'm not going to go through all of these because I don't want to spoil the entire campaign. But I do want to show off at least Mission 1. Just so you have an idea of what you're getting into. So heads up, this is a spoiler for the campaign cards. So if you don't want to know what any of these campaign cards are, please turn off the video. This is the last thing I'm going to go through anyhow. But yeah, so we're going to look through. So we have notes for 1 and 2, and then we have cards. Now, they're numbered on the back, but they're not always numbered in order. 1 through 9. See, there's no number 7 or 8. Because I believe the number has to... it corresponds to where it goes on that tile. So that's essentially how that works. So if I grab one of my tiles here, so this is going to be for tile 5R. So 5R is base game, which I don't have with me right now. So it's 7, 8. Do we not? We start with, oh, because this is dropping the Humvee down. So all of these are actually starting on base game tiles. Which I don't have with me. Or I don't have out at the moment. But what would happen is, as an example, is if I was playing this one down, is it would go on this and it would match that part of the board. Like something like this would lay on there and it would match that. So it might sit off this way or it might sit out into the hallway matching. It might be way over on here. But they go wherever the objective is. But yeah, that's just how those kind of work. I was hoping to show them off, but I guess I didn't realize that all of these start on a later tile. Alright, so if we look at card number 1 here, which is messed up rooms. This will go on tile 5R. So you know exactly which tile it goes on. You can kind of see where it goes. Now if we flip it over, so if we did this, it says, Runner, watch out. Wait, it's stuck under the sofa, looking to grab something. Just out of its reach. I cannot see what from where I am. Keep this card revealed. Place a runner in the zone. It cannot move, but it still attacks. It does not hinder survivors' movement actions. So basically you have a runner that can can't move, but it can do 2 actions. It gets 2 attacks every turn. Survivor killing immediately draws a card from the pimp weapon deck, ignoring discard any ambush cards. They reorganize their inventory for free, then discard this card. Yeah, so once you do this, you're going to say, oh, there's a zombie in there. Now you can assume to try and kill it, or you could keep moving along. We have a dark room. So it'll be that one. And then if we discover this, we're going to get, what do we have here? 2 kids hiding. Hello, kiddos. We're the good guys. Looking for your parents? Well, the survivor makes a choice. Escort the children. Place 2 survivor miniatures that weren't used next to the survivor. They're companions, and the survivor is their leader. They have no skills. So it's kind of neat. So you can grab them. And if you're using the base game, you can always use the kids survivors as well. And then leave the children there. Keep this card, and a survivor in the zone can make the same choice. So it's essentially, do you want to risk having to lead these kids around with you, which could potentially be hazardous? Because if they die, bad things happen when your companions die and stuff like that. Or do you want to bring them with you? This is kind of a neat little choice there. It might have an impact later on one of the other cards or something else in the campaign rules. Might say something. So we have the arcade room, which is going to say, the room is empty. No, wait. Do you see that? One of those boxes just moved, right? Be careful. It may be a zombie. Shall I take a look? Survivor makes a choice. Take a look. Read note number 1, then discard this card. Or leave it as is. Keep this card revealed. Any survivor in the zone can make the same choice until someone takes a look. The building cannot be searched. So interesting. You can't search the buildings. Now, if we did that, we would take note 1, which would be sitting off to the side. And it's going to say, there's a house painter hiding there. Easy, buddy. We are here to save you. And no, wait. Where are you going? Geez, the guy lost his nerve. Look, over there, gathered among the... Oh, look, he gathered an armory in there. Survivor draws from the advanced equipment deck until their inventory is full. Ignore discarded R cards. The survivor can then reorganize the inventory for free. The building can now be searched. So that's kind of interesting, because if you did the first, you're not going to necessarily do these objectives in order. But if you've done that first one, and you're like, oh, I found a zombie. Like, frick, this one says there's something moving. Do I want to risk it's another zombie? If you did, hey, sweet, you got a bunch of armored cards. But if you decided not to, so that's kind of what makes it interesting, because it could be anything like that. So we have number 4 here, which is the grocery store. The grocery store owner is hiding there. He's offering his best stuff. If we can escort him to safety, it may take a little time. What should we do? The survivor makes a choice. Escort the owner. Place the survivor. Miniature that wasn't used next to the survivor. He's a companion and the survivor's leader. His owner has no skills. Remove him as soon as he reaches a street zone on the edge of the board. All survivors then earn 5 AP. Or decline the offer. The owner goes on his own, discards his card. Yes, it's, do you, again, like kind of like the children. Do you want to risk it for an extra 5 AP? Or do you just ignore it? We have squat. Oh gosh, there are 3 huge guys sitting right there watching TV. With blood everywhere. I don't know if they heard us coming. They didn't move. Are they dead or zombies? Survivor makes a choice. Check if the guys are dead. Read note number 2, then discard this card. Leave them in front of the TVs. Keep this revealed. Any survivor can make the same choice. And then we have note number 2, which would say, the guys are frightening to behold but dead. That's relief. Survivor earns 5 AP. So again, there's that concern, like, if you go and rush them, all of a sudden, maybe it's like, it spawns 3 fatties. Oh crap, like, can you deal with 3 fatties? Oh, in this case, it's not, because it's a beginning mission. We have the back room. Madame, are you okay? And we heard noises saying, oh, the woman is standing there, calling her children's names, terrified, as her now ex-husband turns into a runner. We're just in time. Place a runner in the zone. Keep this card revealed. Maybe your team has 2 children companions. moving them from the board, then all survivors earn 5 AP. So now this one ties into that other one. So if you rescued those 2 children, if you went and found them already, and you had them, sweet, now you earn 5 AP. But if you didn't, you might have to then go look for them if you want to earn this extra 5 AP. And then finally, we have the Humvee. It says this vehicle is still under supervision of the Secret Service, but the agent underwent an unfortunate change. They're now a zombie and still strapped in by their seatbelts. Place 4 walkers in the zone. They cannot move, but can still attack. Do not hinder survivors' move actions. Keep this car revealed. The Humvee cannot be searched until all walkers are eliminated. So there's some different missions you can do with that, which are definitely cool. And there's going to be a lot of other different options and all the other different cards. I'm not going to go through all of them. I'm going to open them up and show off the backs of all of them if you're interested. But yeah, this has a full set of 10 missions you can do, which is different cards, as well as if you get the Fort Hendricks, you have a different set. I'm just looking at the companion rules since this does a bunch of stuff. So companion counts as noise. So that's one bad part about having extra companions. If you're hauling them 2 kids around, now you have 2 extra noise volumes. So zombies are going to come after you more often if they can't see you. Eliminated upon receiving wound. Stays with their leader, all special, does not carry actions. It's nothing extra special other than that. So basically the big thing is anytime you bring them with, you have an extra noise following you around. I just thought maybe if they got eliminated, maybe you lost something. But yeah, so that's definitely some cool stuff. Yeah, so 10 different sets here. This could definitely be a cool concept they could add into others. And I know there's also the Rio de Janeiro set coming out, which is probably also going to have a campaign mode, which is kind of cool. But they could also potentially release like mission packs that use. Okay, assuming you have to own the base game, they could be like, here's an extra brand new set of 10 missions. Here's a little mission booklet. Here's 50 extra cards or whatever, for 10 new missions that utilize this set or the Fort Hendricks set. Or maybe they have like a special pack that, like, hey, if you own both of these campaigns or you own all 3 of these sets, you can mix them all together. That's definitely a cool idea. They could do that. Or even go back and add special missions into, like, original Zombicide might be kind of cool. Or using some of those tiles. Add those tiles to this game and then play missions with these cards. I like the idea of these mission cards because they can add extra things to the board. Or I'm also excited maybe for Marvel doing the same thing. Adding a campaign mode to one of the sets would be kind of a cool idea. Because then you could have something where, like, here's an object, and like, oh, Captain America's shield's on the board. Someone can go get that. They have access, look up, find the special item, that maybe now gives someone the ability to use that as an extra attack or something. Be kind of a neat little idea. Alright, so that is what we have for Washington Z.C. So check out the other Zombicide videos. I'm going to try and do as many as I can for whatever games I get as I get them. If you check out Fort Hendricks, you can probably skip right to part 2, just because the beginning part will be the same as this part 1 for this one, which I just go over the campaign mode. Part 2 will be all the new stuff. Alright, see you guys then. Bye.